The first thing that needs to be done is you want to straighten up the wires to make them as even as possible. You can see here that I had to extend a wire to make it closer in length as the others. What I am using is 20 to AWG heat shrink crimp ends to make the connections. For the rest of the video, I will be using to reconnect the wires after I shorten them to length. Once you crimp them, you will want to give them a light tug to make sure you have a good crimp. After, you will use a heat gun to heat them up to create a moisture-proof seal, and will also provide strain relief. Now that the wires are extended, I am trying to make all the wires uniform, and to also make sure no wires are tangled. Once they are uniform, I will apply a little Tessa tape to keep them tidy. Here you can see the wires have varying lengths. Try to sort the wires to find how many wires have the same length. You want to do this to minimize the amount of wires you have to shorten. When you cut the wire, try to keep them uniform. Once you have cut it, ensure that wire is not being intertwined with any other wires. If it is, route it to make the connection as straight as possible. Now that one side is completed, I will now pull on the harness to keep it tight, and will apply a small wrap of Tessa tape to keep it tight. Once that is completed, I will follow the same process for the other connector. As you can see here, the wires on this connector is messier than the first. As before, we will sort the wires to try to find the most common lengths, then cut the others to match. And remember to make sure the wires are not tangled. Now with all the crimps completed, we will apply heat. If you look closely, you can see that I have made a few branched wires. This specific wire is for 12-volt power. Currently it is not being used, but I know it will be used eventually, so I pre-wired it. You will just isolate these wires with tape, and as before, we will tidy up the branches of wires with a small wrap of Tessa tape. Because there are many branches here, we will use a larger wrap of Tessa tape to keep it all secure. Remember to keep everything nice and tight. At this point, with the extra branches isolated, and all the wires are at the appropriate length, begin to wrap it with Tessa tape. You want to keep tape overlapping itself while moving about 1/4 of an inch. With the work complete, test your work.